You know, it's funny, we're talking about track and field, and look who shows up. It's Joe Griffo, and we talked about his track and field career, so to speak, last time we spoke.
Hey, Dave, how are you?
So how
good
are
to see you.
Senator,
Jason, good to see you.
Senator Griffo is here. We were talking about...
You didn't keep the reins away, though, but it's not bad.
Not too bad. Usain Bolt, we were saying, who I know you can compete
Usain
with
Bolt,
from time to time. And he solidified his status as the world's fastest human. He just won the 200 meters at the Track and Field World Championship. So he's still going strong at the age of 29.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, several gold medals, and now I would never have that kind of speed. I wish I could have been a sprinter, though, because when we were doing that 400, that gets a little tough. You know?
You and Jay shared that particular discipline in track and field. And, you know, having good legs helps you get around the Great New York State Fair here. I see a lot of people on golf carts, but in my opinion, that's no way to do it. You got to walk around the Great New York State Fair.
Good exercise. You go to the health pavilion, you learn about all the things you should be doing. After you eat some of the great food here, then you got to at least do some exercise.
Sure.
I'm impressed with the people here already. The gates haven't officially opened and the place is jammed.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we talked about that. We've been here a few years, and we get to see the culmination of, you know, how everything comes together, starts kicking off. They're still moving around. The guys are in the golf carts. They're bringing in the rig all, and they're setting stuff up, and then boom, those gates open, and it's amazing transition to see the folks coming in.
Well, it looks like it's going to be an exciting year. I look forward to it. We're going to meet the Lieutenant Governor is going to be here very shortly to cut the ribbon this year. The governor isn't here, but she'll be walking around the fair, so maybe you can get her to stop by. You're a pro at this, Dave. You've been doing this for a long time, right?
I have, having been in the Syracuse media for a long time. This is kind of old hat for me, but it's new because I was saying earlier, in all the years I've been a broadcaster in Syracuse, I never broadcast my show live at the Great New York State Fair. I would show up later in the day and participate in events and things like that. But this is a first for me, broadcasting a morning show live from the fair.
Participating in events, that means eating the food.
I like that. But he could do rate of fair, so he could tell us from each of your experiences how it improved. We ought to get the ad commissioner here. You can give him some counsel.
I was looking for him. I know he's usually over at the admin building there. You know, Richard Ball being the ad commissioner. We usually grab him every year, and maybe we can find him before the end of the show. But, Joe, one of the topics that Dave and I have been discussing this morning in the news is MMA. And MMA was a big, topic for you, pushing it through the Senate. And I know Assembly was part of the holdup there. Where are we with that? And just tell us a little bit of the background.
Well, I'm really disappointed that the Assembly didn't take action on the bill because the new Speaker had promised a new, transparent, accessible process. And the Majority Leader of the Assembly, Joe Morelli, worked very hard on trying to do what they had asked him, and that was to get a majority of the Democratic Conference to support the bill in order for it to come to the floor. We did this in a very bipartisan way in the Senate, but in the Assembly, I recognize that's the approach they wanted to take. He went and did that. He had over 106 votes, I believe, or 76 to 78 votes, and as a result of that, a few people got sick or left the Capitol at that last. A couple were legitimate, a couple just kind of disappeared. And all of a sudden, there weren't enough votes within the conference, and they didn't bring the bill out. And I think that's disappointing and unfortunate because we would have had some great events here at the end of the year, particularly at Madison Square Garden and all through upstate.
Well, it makes me think of it as if the MMA was legal in New York State, right here would be a great combination, the New York State Fair, to have an event of MMA.
Great to have an event. I thought you were thinking of Ronda Rousey, so that's why it was like.
Well, that's what we were talking
about. A great selfie with Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
Great. I was talking to Senator Joe Griffo here on the Talk of the Town at 100.7 FM WUTQ, and Jay alluded to the fact we were talking about MMA fighting earlier because of Ronda Rousey. She had a little smack talk against Floyd Mayweather. We've been playing the clip this morning. I don't know if you're aware of this, but she says that pound for pound and second for second, she's better than Floyd Mayweather, as you're showing me the great selfie that you have with the MMA fighter.
She actually took the selfie, though. That's what makes that even more impressive.
Is that the Throwback Thursday pick, Joe? I think you got to use that.
We got to start doing more throwbacks again. We had dinner this spring. She was talking about her movie, Entourage, and everything. But you're right. I think part of that is part of what makes the sport of boxing or MMA or wrestling, really, a lot of that trash talk.
Yeah, well, she was trash talking, saying that, again, her fights are over so quickly. She says, hey, I get it. I'm more efficient than Floyd Mayweather. I should make as much money as he does in his boxing matches.
That's pretty impressive. It's interesting if you try to weigh it all. What I don't want to see is the old style, which is fun and it's entertaining, but I think this is great competition, the MMA. But when you look at the old style of the boxer fighting the wrestler, then it becomes more exhibition and entertainment. So in this particular case, you got to look at their skills, and she is a outstanding athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the important thing that people don't realize in these type of sports. They are so well trained and so in great shape that it's amazing. It's not just that you're going in a ring and beating the heck out of each other, you know.
Hey, another topic that we talked about earlier, Senator, one of your colleagues, Charles Schumer, talking about having a woman on a $10 bill. And I guess they're going to have a special meeting in Seneca Falls, which is the hometown of the National Women's Hall of Fame. We were discussing earlier, if it comes to fruition and a woman would replace Alexander Hamilton on a $10 bill, are you in favor of that? And who would you think would be a candidate to assume that great duty?
I'm in favor of it. I don't necessarily believe that we have to take Alexander Hamilton off, because we have a lot of connections with Hamilton here.
Right.
We got to see what other president may be more prominent in other areas, and maybe look at the other forms of currency, because in many cases you have presidents on dual currencies, coin and paper. So who I would like to see is, when you look at this, I think a couple of them that come to mind right now from New York State. Well, actually, you have three of them. You have Eleanor Roosevelt, Harriet Tubman, and Susan B. Anthony. So I think those would be my three top contenders for the ladies.
And Susan B. Anthony has already had the honor, if I'm not mistaken, of being on a coin that was produced for
the
a
one
while.
that nobody could figure out. Remember,
right.
was it $1, but it looked like a quarter,
That's
and
right.
it was kind of confusing to everybody.
And Senator, today, with the fair, you will be making a presence at the Art and Home Center, and that's at 12:30 p.m. What are you doing?
I'm cooking. If you're around,
Are you
come
really?
by back.
What are you making?
I've been doing this for 20 years, and I can't believe this, Dave. And
Look, you
I
got
looked at
some
it
help here,
and,
too.
oh my God, thank you so much. He's awesome.
Cup
I
of
remember we
coffee?
hung out together.
So cooking where? What's the
We're
deal?
cooking at the Home and Health Center, and this
Okay.
year we're making recipes, salads, and healthy things on the go in mason jars. Food in a mason jar. So what you do is put all the ingredients together. One's a taco salad, one's a Cobb salad, one's a breakfast parfait, and then a fruit salad. So all these things we're going to make, and you put them in a mason jar, and they're all made, and you go to work, and then you eat it, and it's great.
Are you wearing the chef
mason
hat and
jar
everything?
Hat? No, I thought you were going to put a mason jar in my hat. Or whatever. But no, I'm not going to wear a chef's hat, but we do have an apron, yes. So.
It gets
But
a
the
little
ladies
messy.
there are fantastic. They do a great job each and every year, and I can't believe this lady keeps asking me back, because I am not the greatest cook. So it's probably because they're all fast and easy.
Yeah. Well, I love the idea of eating out of a mason jar, too, because then you don't necessarily need the bread. And there's no knock against bread, but some people believe it's, unnecessary filler. And if you can have the great food without wrapping it in huge amounts of carbohydrate bread, then it's probably better for
Well,
you
if you
overall.
get a chance, stop by, and if you don't, I promise the next time you book me on the show, I'm going to bring something to you. I'll
All
make
right.
it the night before. It'll be like Beth Irons, only mine will be just as healthy, I hope.
Yeah.
Senator
tasty.
Cook, look at this. I love it. Joe, and with this, we're talking about food a little bit. Any food favorite from the fair?
We talked about this the last time. It's kind of hard for me when I come back. I like what they do in the Maple area. So
Me too.
but I try to stay away from some of the fried stuff, which is very difficult to do. But
We're in front of
it's a day where you just, you can't, you're going to go there and try different things, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
So
well, they say you walk it off anyway, like we were talking about earlier. So.
that's why we're going to keep walking, Dave.
Hey, thanks, Senator, for stopping by. Really appreciate it. You're looking very stylish today. And was it a houndstooth jacket you have going on
my
there?
wife picked it all out, so if I'm matching, you can thank her. But it's kind of one of those things where you start the morning with the ribbon cutting, but then you got to dress for the afternoon when you're walking around.
I hear you.
Yeah,
So,
you're going to have the apron on later on.
Absolutely. So
And we're going to hold you to it too. If we don't see you today, you're going to
you just remind me when you book me, and I'll be happy to do it. So I look forward to it. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks for being here, too, and promoting such a great event, which showcases all of what we have to offer in New York, particularly from agriculture, but all segments of the state economy here. And I think they do a tremendous job here.
Thanks, Senator. Appreciate it. Senator Joe Griffo with the Talk of the Town on 100.7 FM WUTQ at the Great New York State Fair, brought to you by Dutchtown Ace Hardware in the Dutchtown Plaza, Palatine Bridge.